What's up, everyone? We're finally made it to Kona. I'm super excited to be here. We're going to be putting out vlogs and podcasts every single day. Each episode is going to be kind of special and unique. These are only possible by Bicycle, BYCYCLE.com. They are the largest online bike retailer for used bikes. They have over 20,000 bikes in inventory. If you're looking to buy a new used bike or looking to sell an old bike of yours, they have gravel, road, and triathlon bikes. If you're a professional, want to sell one of your bikes at the end of the year, more than welcome to do that. Any bike you're wanting to sell, just use code PROTRYNEWS and they will arrange a carrier and a bike box for you, ship that out, special insurance for the user, and then also buyer's insurance for you guys. So use code PROTRYNEWS. This vlog series is only possible because Bicycle made it possible for us to be here. The whole squad's going to be here. It'll be Mark, Pat, myself, and Talbot, all putting out episodes and content for you each and every day. Enjoy. Good morning, everyone. Beautiful sunrise today. We are going to be linking up with Sam Laidlow for his press conference. We will be doing some content, maybe hopefully with Tim O'Donnell, and Mark and Pat both arrived today. So we're going to be doing our debrief episode for WTCS Grand Final and T100 Vegas, and then everything else content-wise will be focused on Kona. We do have a couple meetups planned, so we'll be posting about those as well. Just finished up with you here at your press conference.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest thing for you now that you've been on the island for a little bit? Was there a particular workout that you're like, this is how I'm feeling good?
No, to be honest, I was quite happy with where my running was at before coming. So it was more about getting used to like the climate and making sure I can kind of hit the times that I was at home here.
Yeah.
And after kind of like 2 or 3 weeks here, we got there. But the main goal for the camp was to kind of bring my cycling back to where it needs to be to hopefully come off the bike with a lead, or a lead at least on the big runners. So yeah, I mean, prep, I can't complain, prep's been good. But yeah, I mean, I've come into races thinking that my prep hasn't been good. I've had great races and the opposite. So yeah, who knows what we're in for. But one thing is for sure is that I think this is probably the best field we've had in a long time, yeah.
We interviewed Gustav and Christian yesterday. They seem to be at odds as far as if it's going to be a bike race or a run race. What are you thinking?
Yeah, same, good question. To be honest, the scenario I see playing out is like me, Magnus, and maybe Robert having a bit of a lead off the bike, and then yeah, it being a run battle and seeing if Christian can catch up. I also think, oh shit, I've forgotten his name. The guy who won Victoria.
Antonio Benito
Antonio,
Lopez.
I think Antonio will actually be a really good shout for probably the podium. I think he's much stronger than people think he is. He can he could probably ride with the Norwegians, and then I think he could probably run with them for a long way. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously we've got Patrick and a few great runners. So yeah, that's the scenario I see happening: is me, Magnus, and Robert coming off the bike with a little bit of a lead, and then similar to every year, kind of seeing if they catch up or not.
Yeah, you brought up Antonio in the race in Victoria. Kind of what went through your head about the disqualification and things like that?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm happy it happened because I'd never kind of got a penalty like in my life before, so I was happy that I had that experience there to kind of make sure it doesn't happen again. Yeah, I mean, now I'll just make sure I'm not even in any of the lights, and everybody's a long way away, so hopefully don't get any issues. But yeah, obviously Ironman decided to look through the data, so it was great that we do have Race Ranger. And then kind of realised that I was actually in the 3 guys that had the least time in the zone, and they took back that decision that was made by the Spanish referees. But yeah, again, I mean, it's all for me. All the racing leading up to Kona is about making mistakes that you won't hopefully make on the big day.
Yeah. You feel like there's a target on your back? Feel pressure? Anything? Be a defending champ?
No, I mean, of course, there's pressure that I put on myself, because I really want to win, but I don't think I'm like the bookies' favourite. I think Christian and Magnus are, because they've had great performances this year over the Ironman distance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think I am. Obviously, I'm number 1, so I must officially be. But for me, the pressure is probably more on the guys that are slightly older. Because I've got a lot of Konas ahead of me, and in my head, kind of I believe I will win this race one day, and like whatever happens this weekend is just part of that process, and I might I might come 15th, and that might be the best thing to happen to my career. So that's kind of the mindset I'm going into it with.
Yeah. As far as the gearing on your bike, I know that that's a little bit of a secret that you're rocking here today or for this weekend. Is it the same as you did last time, or is it bigger?
Oh, it's about six teeth bigger. Yeah.
6 teeth bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So it's crazy to think that, but yeah, we're just going faster. So yeah, and yeah. I mean, it's not. I don't care. It doesn't have to be secret. It's a 64 tooth chainring. So yeah, I think that'll be pretty good on some parts of the course if there's some fast sections.
Sweet. You gonna be putting out another YouTube video before the race?
No YouTube. No, we're just
going quiet.
We're making a proper documentary that will probably come out like I don't know, a month or two after the race.
Okay.
So yeah, we got Lionel for like the short YouTube vlog stuff, and then
Yeah.
and then me for a nice big film. At
Long
the end of
form
the,
film.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go. Best of luck this weekend.
Cheers, mate.
Are you hopping in, Mitch?
Oh my gosh. What'd you say?
You hopping in?
Absolutely. About to.
The motion one is a test radio.
Hey, is this new? Is this new?
Maybe. I can't tell.
Menno Koolhaas, the winner of the swim race on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean-
Part one is done. So
So now what are you going to do on Sunday? Sorry, Saturday.
swim even faster. So it was just a training and was not going all out, but on the end I was pushing a little bit to come. Yeah, it's a race. We got a number, so yeah. It was nice. It was nice to see the course and feel the current a little bit. So yeah, it was cool. Cool to win my first race in Kona. So let's hope for more.
It's been a bit of an endurance event for you to qualify here. Obviously, the race in Texas, and then to get the qualification here.
For me, I qualified 2 times. So basically, but yeah, it was a roller coaster. Also, with the beginning of the year was good in Miami with a good result, and then I couldn't race Singapore. But yeah, then Texas was such a bummer.
Race to forget.
Yeah, race to forget, and then I raced Frankfurt, and I went down at 60 kilometers, and I thought, okay, it's over. But yeah, never ever give up, and it was a great race, good run, and yeah, now I'm here. So really happy.
This was a big goal for you. We talked in Miami, and you said #1 goal for the year is to qualify and race here in Kona. How does it feel now that you're here?
Yeah, it's a childhood dream. I'm doing triathlon since I was 9 or something. So, and I always watched in the Netherlands. We watch in the evening because it's a 12-hour difference. And yeah, I always watch with a big group the Ironman on Hawaii. So I knew every winner from every year. And yeah, now it's a dream to be here as a pro to race here. So really exciting.
What's it going to take for you to be the next person's name on the list of winners?
Oh. Yeah, have the best day of my life, the best day on the bike. I think with the swim and the run I can compete in the race, but on the bike I have to be in the front. And I worked a lot on my bike skills together with my teammate Tristan. So I think I'm ready. Yeah.
Talk of the town's been gearing ratio. What are you running?
Running shoes?
No.
Oh.
Your chain ring.
Oh, we have some new. We were here with 56, 65, I don't know, and now we have a 60. So we need it. I see some guys riding with 62, but I think 60 is enough.
Sam Laidlow, we just left his press conference. He's rocking a 64. I think it's
64.
probably the biggest.
Yeah, big guns. But yeah, we're still rookies, so we have to start with a 60.
That's right. That's right.
In 2 years, we will have a 64.
There you go. The biggest thing for you is obviously best case scenario is a win, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then what are you eyeing as far as like saying is a moral victory for you?
Moral victory will be a top 10.
Top 10?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Well, tell us where we can follow your journey. There's people that probably have never heard of you before. So you have a YouTube channel.
No,
Not
yet. Not yet. Maybe in the future. It's Instagram, Menno Koolhaas. That's what I'm basically. I need a big follow. It's not that big at the moment, but yeah, we're building on it. So I think Kona will help, and you guys from Pro Tri News will help. So yeah, and from Ironman, they are helping a lot to get some more followers. So it's growing now when we're here.
Yeah.
So let's grow even more.
That's right.
I'm Tristan. Interesting.
Tristan's racing as well.
Same team. The Dutch train. They have also the Norwegian train, but we are the Dutch train.
Better watch out.
So watch out in blue, the guys.
And that's Aaron. Aaron's the one man with the plan behind all the Ironman stuff.
He gives me a lot of followers.
What do you say, Magnus?
I say that Pro Tri News is arriving today, so it's a sad day.
It's too hot.
What?
I want to go home.
What happened?
It's too hot. I want to go home.
Really?
Yeah, it's too warm. It's humid.
You travel light.
Nice. What do you travel like?
It's not bad.
You travel, you absolute girl. Nice ride.
What happened?
Gas station. It's American gas stations. First thing, I'm having a hot dog. Yeah, I'm having a hot dog.
Yeah! Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Pro Tri News. We have a beautiful view of the island in Hawaii. Picked up Pat and Mark today from the airport.
We made it. Longer travel for Mark than for me, but gosh, my flight felt long today. But obviously, really happy to be here. Kyle, you did an amazing job on vlog number 1, podcast number 1.
Thank you.
You got Christian Blumenfeld, Gustav Eden. A little underwhelming to just have me and Mark today, frankly, but I did get some feedback that we need to have. We got to keep the crew together.
Yeah, and we got a debrief from the weekend.
We got
Obviously, there was 2 big races: the Grand Final and the WTCS Grand Final, and then the T100 race in Vegas. So
yeah, me and Pat are a little bit jaded from flying. My flight was in 11 hours from London to LA. But actually, that is still less time than it took Kyle to set up these microphones.
But we're doing it for you guys. We're doing it for you guys.
Yeah. So we had T100.
Yeah.
And we had the Grand Final.
Yeah.
2 huge races. The week before the Ironman World Champions. Normally it's like a dead 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
2 pretty massive races. T100 Las Vegas felt a little bit flat without some of the men that are obviously on the island here. A couple of the women were missing in the women's race, and it was sort of a bit routine in the winner because Taylor's really, really very good at that. But the men's race was super exciting, I thought.
Yeah.
For a while.
I will say in the lead up to the T100 race at Lake Las Vegas, what I really thought the T100 nailed this time around was the content. I don't know if that's just because I was bored out of my mind at a hotel in Torremolinos or wherever the hell we were.
Classic city of Torremolinos.
Boom,
you know, but
Metropolis.
I ended up watching every single T100 video that they put out, and I really enjoyed all of them. They would finish, and I'd go, "Oh, great! I get to watch another one." They would. I felt
It didn't feel that way when we were there, by the way. Because
you didn't like the content when you were there, or
no, the content was great.
I felt okay. Here's what I thought. I just thought from the week with the T100, when I look at the whole product, they nailed the content side of it, the production side of it. I thought the broadcast was totally fine. What the broadcast probably didn't do was give justice to how hard the course was, where you had to kind of be a bike dork like me, where you would look at them, the riders climbing, and you'd go, "Oh my gosh, they're in their easiest gear here." But I thought that watching the race and the build up to it all week, I thought the T100 did a great job.
I think the build-up, the content they do pre-race has been good for a while. I think it gets better and better. There's like when there's certain videographers there and certain missing, it goes up and down because the athletes open up to some of the videographers more than others. But yeah, I thought the whole thing was good. And whilst we touched on coverage, credit where credit's due, Chelsea Sodaro did a cracking job on the commentary. She's caught a bit of flack over the last couple of years. We've given her like a bit of tongue-in-cheek hard times over a few bits and bobs. I thought she was really good.
Yeah. And that's been the collective. I mean, athletes and age groupers alike, all of them love Chelsea on the broadcast.
I thought she was absolutely fantastic. I watched the entire women's race again from the hotel, and I thought she did an amazing job.
Unfortunately for us, she's definitely got another few years left in her legs. She won't be hanging up anytime soon racing, so we can't benefit from the commentary.
Yeah.
So should we go into some results?
Yeah. So let's start with the women's side. Taylor Knibb won the race. You take it from the top of the swim. Obviously, the fastest swim was Haley Chira.
I was surprised by that. Not because she's not a great swimmer. She often leads out swims, but against like Duffy and Spivey and that, I didn't think they'd let someone else lead it out personally. But Haley Chira led out the swim, yeah. And then unsurprisingly, Taylor Knibb ripped the legs off
just
absolutely everyone on the bike. Julie DeHong got dropped a bit in the swim, which was interesting. It's not her strength. And then, unfortunately, Lucy Byram got a penalty on the bike.
So did Flora Duffy.
Yeah. They both rode really well.
Yeah.
And Lucy Byram really can ride a bike, but went back past four, etc. But yeah, 2 penalties again. They're not messing around this time.
It's just so much easier, I think, for the officials to call it and to call it, I'd say, on like the more tight side when they know they're not going to end someone's race. And Kyle, you spoke about this with Dylan. You spoke about this with Sam on the reflection pod that you did with them a few days ago. I think it adds, like we spoke about, it adds a bit of excitement. We know they're going to call it tight. We're going to talk about the men's race and the infractions that were in that one.
Yeah.
I'm all for this, and for whatever, I don't know if it's because if it's the way that the lighting was on the race day, or if this is Race Ranger 2.0.
It was cloudy for the women's race,
but we get that allows us to see the lights on the broadcast, and so I think it just adds a feature that I really enjoy watching, and it was something that I was seeing as the race was going on. You're sitting there going, wait a minute, that was a red light, and then all of a sudden you see the official's motorbike come up, you see a blue card in their hand, and you go, here we go. This is go time. So I think it.
Can I speak on the penalties real quick?
Sure.
So I was talking to their team after the race, and they seem to be a little bit bothered by the 2 penalties for Lucy and Flora.
Which team?
Lucy and Flora's team seem to be bothered by it. Not from a standpoint of like them giving the penalties, but the location on where they got the penalties, even the athletes itself, because the way that the climbs were, it was preventative officiating. Like we talk about this all the time. No one wants to give a pass interference call on the 4th down in the 4th quarter and affect the outcome of the game. Luckily, 3rd and 4th place both had penalties, and so we didn't have to wonder what if,
And it wouldn't have changed the results.
Yep.
So, but we want to clarify for the audience. So what Kyle's talking about, and if I'm hearing you correctly, is there's effectively. They're saying they were a victim of the reverse accordion. Somebody in front of them is going up a hill. It's really easy to all of a sudden close that gap down, and it's a little bit more challenging to judge the speed. And then also the other thing is it actually, are you coming within the 20 meters?
Yeah.
Because 20 meters when you're going 25 k an hour versus when you're going 55 k an hour,
is different.
Look very different.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing.
It looks different, but the technology is just based on meters.
Yeah. Of
course.
So
they definitely were within it.
Yeah.
I'm a bit like, the problem is you give it to 2 really strong riders. Lucy's great. She often rides the front of the groups and stuff like that. So it does feel a bit, it's unlucky, unfortunate, but I'm glad they're actually giving it. So I don't want to actually critique it now. We cried for it for so long.
Yeah.
Let's not go on the 2nd and 3rd penalty to criticise the rest of giving penalties. Let's just, it didn't affect any races.
How much of it do you think is, okay, in the case of Flora Duffy got a penalty here and Alistair Brownlee got another penalty. Do you think that they struggle with that a little bit more because in their short course career? I mean, I think about it like when I'm bike racing, I'm trying to draft as much as possible. And if you put me into a race and you said, Pat, you can't come within 20 meters, well, 1, I'd have a hard time judging that 20 meters with or without the lights. And then 2, it's a habit that I'd be trying to break.
Alistair's raced a lot.
Alistair's been out of WTCS.
Alistair's been out. He's raced.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
his
no
first 7
there's
point
no
pretty well.
excuses.
No,
Okay,
no,
all right.
Maybe he just wanted someone to yell at.
I mean, we know that he would push the envelope on the
Pushing the envelope is literally the definition of Alistair Brownlee, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think he now needs to realise that this envelope is closed or
I don't know
what happens if you push an envelope for too long?
It's busted.
Busted
It's
wide
not
open,
getting
yeah.
delivered.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, so back to the women's race. I think what were the other surprises here? I don't want to say that Julie Duran. I anticipated her to get second again. I thought it would be a little bit tighter race. I thought that this was.
I think on that bike course, I wasn't that surprised given what we saw Taylor do in San Francisco.
Sure.
As soon as there's a steep climb, she's an absolute gun.
Because what was it in San Francisco? 7-8 minutes.
Something absurd. Yeah.
No, it wasn't that far.
I
don't think so.
How much was it off the bike?
Off the bike, I think it was that high.
Oh, was it? I thought it was like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I
I
think
thought it was much the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
it could have been. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I think it was about 5.
Yeah.
But so yeah, she's done it before as well.
Yeah.
So it's about what I expected. And then Julie ran really well. I thought actually Taylor ran really well.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Nib.
Taylor
Right.
Nib, yeah.
Yeah. And we had talked about this run course in the preview show, but then when you saw it on video and you saw these guys running up and down these golf cart paths.
Yeah.
It
was no joke.
Horrible.
I think they found every hill in the desert.
Oh yeah, they just banged it all in. I'm just
That
looking at
was
the results here.
insane.
I mean, did Taylor have the second fastest run of the day?
I believe
No,
so.
Tamra did.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so
then-
third fastest run of the day
Was
as well.
Taylor Nib.
We're having ridden 5 minutes into a run fast. She's unbeatable come the grand final.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah.
There's no way she's getting beaten again.
I mean, Ash is taking a break, right? She wasn't in Vegas, so maybe she's going back home, refreshing herself, getting ready.
The problem with Ash there is Ash needs to get to within 2 minutes of Taylor off the bike.
Yeah.
And in what world, with the way she's riding right now?
Yeah.
No chance.
Let's just talk about it because I did get some questions. People were. There were some people that I was talking to that thought maybe like a Laura Phillip or an Annie Haug would have a better race. Obviously, I think with Laura Phillip, she's still on the emotional high from winning the Ironman World Championship, so I wasn't expecting a huge result from her. Annie Haug again had a mechanical on the bike, so that knocked her out.
It was her tire.
It's a tire again. Yep.
So
She's got to chase them.
well, no, I think she has. So I think that's just one of these horrible bits of luck. Her and her mechanic basically copped fault to the Nice one to an extent. They're pretty honest. They took risks they shouldn't have done. I don't think they took the same risks here apparently, and it was just horrendous bad luck. So it looks like you can scream and shout at and you've got to change something. I just think that's really unfortunate.
No, I mean, and it happens. It was funny. Lionel in his YouTube video the other day had this triple flat, right, where he got flat on one wheel, another flat again on it, and then he went and grabbed a spare wheel, so brand new wheel, brand new tire again, and then got a third flat on it. And it's just like, sometimes you
Had
just
he put milk in instead of sealing? There was just, has Talbot been doing his wheels for him in the house? Talbot's been living with him for a month, changed all his wheels.
Oh man! So, there was the other thing that caught my attention in the women's race in Las Vegas was it seemed like an absurd amount of mechanicals, given that there were only 19 women in the race.
Like really embarrassing.
And it's like the thing that was perplexing to me was, I just don't understand what can go wrong.
And it's honestly one thing I think the people do there is there are like 4 mechanics there,
right?
Which there are never at any other races.
Mm-hmm.
And people turn up, and it does genuinely annoy me. They turn up with a bike for a full service. They want new sealant, they want new tyres, they want new brake pads, they want new batteries fitting. They basically get their bike done for the next 5 weeks at a race.
Right.
But we all know.
And
when
Foy's running around like his chicken with his head cut off.
Tony Foy, absolute legend, can't say no, does all the jobs. There's lots of other team there. I genuinely think most problems with bikes happen as soon as you've done a major service, you've done a full build, you've changed tyres. Like it happens soon after because something's not bedded in properly. Like it's the only answer for me.
You still got to do a shakeout on it. You really do want to do a heavy,
particularly tyres and things, right?
Yeah,
they need
solid.
bedding in.
Yep. No, I completely agree.
So sort it out before you get there, then use the
How
mechanics.
much, how much
for test
betting
race.
is like if I'm doing a race in a couple of weeks? Like how much betting do you think?
100K at a time?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd really like you to do 40.
Yeah, okay. Minimum, I agree.
Yeah.
So 40 miles.
Yeah.
Like I think 50 to 100K.
So tune in your bike on Monday before your race on Saturday and do a
with
couple
new
rides.
tyres especially.
Yeah.
Because it's like the sealant obviously sloshes around, it sits still. You might have slight leaks in it, but also like if there's an actual fault in the rubber or something, you'll find it at that point.
Right.
And they get grippier after a while. It loses that sort of factory sheen.
Yeah.
Agree?
Okay.
That's fair.
Men's race.
Any other surprises? I mean, Flora Duffy getting her first podium.
But are we actually surprised?
No, I think that she's like finally like arrived at middle distance.
I think it missed that race. I think it missed some like real hit and go on the bike at the front a little bit. Like Imogen Simmons wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, Laura Phillip wasn't really sparking.
Indy didn't start.
Yeah.
Indy didn't start. Lucy Byram got a penalty.
Yeah.
And I'll echo what Christian and Gustav said on the pod yesterday too. This was a dynamic course, so it was naturally going to suit some
ITU
athletes.
Yeah.
So look at your top 5: Taylor Knibb, Julie Duran, Flora Duffy, and you got Lucy Byram in 4th. She's the exception. And
No, she did short course for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got Taylor Spivey in 5th.
Yeah.
So I think that's to me a pretty clear signal of like.
I think Dubai will be really different.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because you just sat in position for 2 hours.
Kyle, talk us through
The men's results.
Yep.
Can I talk about what I did between the women's and the men's race real quick?
As long as you're quick.
Whoa. Let me tell you what. I thought that Super Tri did a really good job with hospitality. The PTO and the T100 at that race was like, they had beers, they had all-you-can-eat buffet, they had wine, they had anything you wanted to eat or drink to the heart's content. I had the best ice cream sundae bar in the VIP lounge. Let me tell you, next level.
So easily bought.
No, if you, I'm just telling you right now, if you have an option to buy an extra or get VIP at these events to go and be up close and personal with the athletes.
Yeah, but you're gambling because some of the ones aren't as good as that. Some are like Miami.
Yeah, Miami was meh.
Yeah. Anyway, come on, men's race.
Okay.
You are right there. Cool.
Okay, men's race. The swim happened. The first lap of the swim was pretty rough, I would say, for Sam Long. I'm just gonna say this right now. When I tell you that I'm literally the swim goes out, and I'm like, wait, we're waiting on someone else. I'm like, where's Sam? The guys are going back out to the buoy, and Sam is coming back in. Hasn't even done the beach exit yet. And I'm like, dude, this gap, it's gonna be 6 minutes easily. It's gonna be 6 minutes.
What was it?
It was 6 minutes, 5:50.
It was 5:30, 5:50 in the
I
end.
tuned in on the bike. Wow.
Yeah,
550 and 2K.
in the end. Can I tell you? This sounds really bad, but
I'm trying to do some quick maths.
the thing that I kind of would just like chuckle to myself a little bit and was just like kind of in shock was while I was walking from, because it's point to point swim. So while I was walking from the start of the swim to the swim exit, I'm walking along the golf course and poor Leo, Sam's kid's just sitting there crying. And I'm like, he knows this. Sam's having a rough day. He's just losing it. Just losing it.
That's almost 18 seconds per 100 meters slower.
That's a lot.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, there's people in that front group that could genuinely do that quite comfortably backstroke.
Yeah. Anyways, moving
Sorry,
on.
Sam.
The first out of the water.
Just to give perspective.
First out of the water was Aaron Royal. He had a group with him. There was about 10 of them. It ended probably about where Justin Reale came out. And then the group kind of went away. Fastest bike split was Sam Long, though.
Did what's his face drop out?
Which one? Henry Schumann?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so Henry Schumann was fast out of once, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Why did Henry Schumann drop out?
You know, I didn't get to chat with him. I didn't see on the broadcast what made him drop out. But there was quite a few dropouts. Yuri had a dropout, and it was kind of emotional, I think. He said that he's been kind of going through a lot since winning in Singapore, and he's almost got the yips at this point. So
he got a pretty rough run of it, right?
Yeah.
Like he won Singapore.
Yeah.
But then he was on the butt end of a lot of doping accusations.
Yeah, but then we also talked. I mean, separate from that too, we talked about this of if you overcook yourself in the heat,
there is that.
Coming back from it is we do not have great examples of people that have come back from the heat.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that, Lake Las Vegas was hot, but we're just saying coming back, period.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so I wonder how much of that is going on as well.
Yeah, he could easily have done some serious damage, long term stuff.
Right.
But normally that then affects you in the heat. Like
You think it was a little bit of the doping accusations that kind of just messed with his head a little bit?
But he's not made any team. Most, as far as I'm aware, and I talked about who his coach was and stuff like that. Now, he's not changed any of that.
Yeah.
So he's riding it out, and I think it's largely gone away now, right? So let's hope he gets his head back in it.
Yeah. So anyways, Sam Long, after coming out of the water dead last, rode a 150, quite a bit faster than everyone else, except for Martin Van Riel and Matthias Margier. When I tell you, Matthias, when he came by me, I was like, dude, this guy's catching in front of the back.
He can really
quick.
ride bike. Yeah. He's got a lot of power. He's like a real, huge legs, powerful rider.
So,
Gaines just hung in there, didn't he?
just insane, dude.
Like
that dude's a
Martin Van Riel
gamer. He is a gamer.
Who?
Yella.
Yeah, but other people spat him in lots of races all year. Is it like the boys said again yesterday? It's just the course suits him?
I think you've got a situation. Yeah, but I mean, Oceanside is, I don't want to say, Oceanside's not dynamic, but I mean, certainly Oceanside.
He got dropped on the hills.
But he only got dropped in Oceanside when Lionel eventually caught him. So he was at the front of the race for 70k or something, and then Lionel finally caught him.
Yeah.
It would then put 2.5 or 3 minutes into him,
On the back of my bike.
So,
oh my god!
Yeah, here we go.
Jeez Louise.
Here's the interesting one to me about Yella Gaines that I don't have an answer on. This is all coming from the cycling world. He's on a Ridley bicycle, which is what a former World Tour team was on. Lotto Destiny. Lotto Destiny has spoken very poorly of that time trial bike since leaving that company, and I found it really interesting that I didn't know off the top of my head what bike brand Yella Gaines was on, but I saw him riding that bike and I thought, oh wow, that's really interesting. That bike's gotten trashed really hard in the cycling media because of that team, and clearly he's having no issues with it right now. So
or it's on a hilly course where the aero factor's taken out slightly.
Is way less, so that's. I think we could look at that performance. I wish what we had from his race, I wish we could have seen him in San Francisco to know if is it the course? Is it the time of year? It's are we going to, what will we see in Dubai? And I think we've heard in Dubai, are we going to see for the,
I don't think he's going to be in Dubai.
Oh, is he not going to?
Yella's not going to be in Dubai. He's in the process of moving to Australia, him and his missus. So no Dubai for him. But it looks like 70.3 Worlds is definitely in the
That is going to be fire, 70.3 Worlds.
Yeah.
Because you throw Hayden in there, you throw Leo Berger in there, you throw the Greek lad, I'm going to blank his name.
But Patagonios Bitaros.
There you go, Kyle.
Yeah, Patagonia, got it. And and then Yella, that's something horrible race that. Okay.
But I guess what we thought was interesting was when we previewed the show, we said there were two things that we knew to be true. We knew that Taylor Knibb was going to win the women's race, and we knew that Martin Van Riel was going to win the men's race. And Martin
almost did it.
He almost did it, but I mean, it ended up being, was it 38 seconds at the end? The gap. I mean, it was sizable.
It wasn't anything.
That's with a Yella Gaines stopping to tie his shoe. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, it was impressive. I think we slept on Yella a bit because we saw him in some middle distance races early in the year.
Because he was fourth in Oceanside, third in Talon, second. Where was that?
He got smoked in Talon.
And ZLMC was second, and then first here.
So it's just this classic. Being a pundit in triathlon is really hard if you try and rely on the form book. Because the form book is bollocks.
Yeah.
Okay, big surprise then for me in the men's race, the biggest one, honestly. Jason West. Back in the game. Top 5.
Yeah.
He actually rode really well too. He had
I mean, we're talking about a guy that couldn't kick his way out of a top 17 in this series
Just trying to find it.
for somebody that I picked to win the series. And so I guess I was encouraged to see a return of form for Jason, and I'm not sure what's
he outrode Fred Punk.
Yeah, but what's weird is he had an unbelievable bike leg.
Yeah.
And he didn't even have the top 5 fastest run.
Well, he was laying around on the ground. Did you see him? Did you see him laying on the ground stretching?
Yeah.
Like he was cramping bad. Something
I
wrong.
think he just got blown apart. He was 7 minutes back?
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the deficit, the time gaps in this race, because that's obviously another thing that everybody brought up.
The podium was separated by almost 5 minutes.
And
Justus Nieschlag was third. Almost 5
Those
minutes.
two were just in a
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different area code.
So again, okay. So sorry, I want to do one lap on.
Can I do my most impressive?
Oh, please.
performance?
Yep.
The guy that's going to be here this weekend racing, Peter Hemrich.
Yeah, came 4th.
Come on. Hey, I'm just saying right now.
It's not going to bode well for a performance on Saturday.
Just a good
I'm
break
afraid.
sesh.
It's a good break. And what you want to do as a brick sesh is you want to do I suppose everybody's doing their race sims here.
Yeah.
They said that
he goes, I might
listen,
as well get paid for mine.
I'm telling you,
That's
the thing is people probably think that he was just like, oh, I need to do this race before Kona. But I talked to his coach because they were on my flight. Listen, he told me, he said that this was the plan all along. This was the plan the whole season for him to do that race before this.
Sure.
Do you think that was really the plan?
I think so.
Okay. Say they made this plan back in January. There's no way they would have done that if they knew what the Lake Las Vegas course was.
That's maybe fair.
You would never do. I mean,
The run, especially.
the run, it just blows you apart.
Like running hard.
He did say that he was pretty tight on Monday.
And running fast downhill is horrible.
Yeah. So to that.
But to go back to your time gaps thing, Pat. So you had, 4:44 back to 3rd place.
And then just what is it to 10th?
10.5 minutes.
Okay, then now do the women's race.
Oh, this is bad. This one. 17:13.
Yeah. So I think that I had a lot of people reach out to me.
It was 10.5 minutes.
Yeah, I had a lot of people reach out to me and say, look, these time gaps are crazy. What's going on? And it's a couple things. It's when you do these insanely hard courses, it's naturally going to be that anyway, because it just becomes a survival point at the end. I think also part of it plays into this is an unforeseen consequence of the contracts to some extent, where people are running in, I'll call it the minor places, whether that's 7th, 9th, 13th, and they're sitting there going, God, do I want to just throttle myself right now to go get 11th? I already know I'm making whatever, $5,000 in start fee, or whatever the amount is.
Yeah, the prize doesn't get any worse.
And so you're just like, I'm going to just kind of chuck it in now a little bit.
I also just think some people, I think some people are just really good at this distance as well. I'm starting to think it suits the Olympic lot more, but maybe on a course like that. Yeah. And then you get Sam Laidlow going just busted, not all over the London race, and and Taylor's not really a short.
This would have been very almost like a replica of 70.3 Worlds when it's in St. George. Would be very similar to what this course was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, time gaps are mental.
Yeah. Just something to think about, something to keep observing. I think we talked a lot about on what the T100 contract should look like, and I think you think about building the contracts from a race like this, and you go, how do we try and make the best racing possible and reward people fighting for those minor places?
Spokey dokes for Taylor. Do you have those where they sit in the wheel and they curse they clap
yes,
around?
Of course, yeah.
And running in maybe sketches for Judy Durand. Things like this.
All right, we're going into the last race of the year in Dubai. Mark, you're going to be there.
Yeah.
Do you foresee, looking at the series itself, do you foresee some big shakeups between?
So the big controversy, or not controversy, is My understanding was that to get one of the wildcards to get an entry, and I heard Dylan say it, my understanding for one of the wildcards to get an entry to the grand final was they had to have done 3 races and be placed very well. But they've said that Julie Duron is going to get an entry. Now, she's only done 2.
Yeah.
So Julie Duron actually could finish 2nd or 3rd in the series with only 3 scores versus people's 4 scores. Because the way that, and that's why I think they should change the points, because the drop off is so steep after the first couple of places.
Yeah.
So that could really change things, because Julie Duron realistically could finish. What we got there?
This is the.
I think she could finish 3rd, Julie Duron, with 1 less score than everyone else overall in the series. If Julie Duron finishes 2nd there, she'll jump.
So she's ranked 9th.
Yeah, but
she's only got
2 scores.
2 scores.
Yeah. And the grand final, the grand final is more points.
And but the gap there's really close. Look at her in 9th. Like, look at her points. She's on 56, right? Go all the way up to Kat. So go up to Kat now.
61.
Yeah, so 61. So that's only a 5-point gap.
Yeah.
So if she finishes 1 place ahead of Kat, she jumps Kat because the grand final counts. And then if you go up past Laura Phillip, past Imogen Simmons,
It's not that far.
there's only like 3 more points.
Yeah.
So she only has to finish 2 places ahead of them, and she'll jump them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Writing the criteria as they go. That's what Sam said.
Yeah, but the problem is
What he said on the podcast.
Yeah, but they told all the athletes what the criteria was for they were going around at the races telling them what the criteria was for wildcards to get it. But now they want to market a bit. By the way, I get why they're doing it, and Julie's super good, and why not have her there? And she's earned the points, and I just like. It's like I always say, please just write some rules and stick to them.
Yeah. Moving the goalposts a little bit. But, I mean, they canceled the last race of the year. I'm sure they were going to give.
Well, yeah, but don't forget, Julie Duron only put herself on the wait list to start doing these races at the first one she got into. She wasn't even on the wait list for others.
Yeah.
It's not like she's been trying to get on all year.
Yeah.
But she's really good at this sport, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden. I was thinking back at her running. You've obviously tracked women's short course more than I have. She's only really learned to run really well in like the last 2 years.
There's a big rumor that Julie Duron was domestiquing for your wife.
That's certainly not the case.
But her running was like, she's now the best runner in middle distance triathlon and second best for something in short course.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
She had I haven't done a deep dive on what her running is, but I know that she had actually, it seems that she has a track record of running better at the half marathon than she does at the 10K. And so her 10K in the Olympics was more of an aberration from, like, she's done quite well in a bunch of longer distance.
Well, yeah. So she did 2 70.3s and she ran amazingly at them, and then all of a sudden she could run amazingly at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Or she just suddenly started running amazingly.
Yes, I don't think, but I don't. On the flip side of that, I have no idea like what her 3K or 5K time is, right? So we've only seen her run well in the 10K and effectively the 18K and the half marathon.
But that's all come in the last year.
Yeah.
So then, can we not just say she's just suddenly running really well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
just fascinating.
Where are we at with the men's points?
Men's points, Martin has a commanding lead over your boy Magnus. Almost 20 points over Magnus. And that's second place. So
that's like unacceptable.
Yeah. Seems like Martin had, barring something absolutely insane happening in the grand final.
All right. So then, sorry, what I want to look at here that's a little bit more interesting, I guess, is talk to me about the race for the top 10. Because the top 10, if you're top 10 in the T100 series,
it is so tight.
You're getting automatic entry into the series.
Alistair Brownlee is 1 point behind. So Alistair Brownlee is 11th, Rico Bogan's 10th, 1 point. 9th is like the spread.
Jason West has got to figure it out. He's 14th. If he wants to be on T100 contract, otherwise you're entertaining the Ironman Pro Series at that point.
Yeah, so the spread over from 12th to 8th is covered by 11 points, which is 2 places essentially, or 2 or 3 places. So that could all change.
Unreal. You got Kyle Smith, 3rd ranked in the series on the wild
sunset's so pretty.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he would have done well on that.
But that, I think. Yeah. But that's a big thing to check in with then when Dubai finishes, understanding.
Should we just show the people real quick? 10. Should we just show the people real quick?
Yeah.
Are you bored?
No, I mean,
Oh, the sunset.
look at this.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. Whoa, Kylo Kona's down there. Crazy.
Right, we're moving on to World Series. That was Carl saying we need to move on.
Yep. Okay.
Grand final.
We did a grand final.
Before we move on,
Oh,
we got this beautiful stuff here that's going to keep us replenished while we live, train, and podcast nonstop while we're here in Kona. This is Raw Replenish. That's your electrolyte drink. That's what you use daily. Make sure you're hydrated and good to go. This is Raw Fuel.
I really like this.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm really bad at fueling riding. That
So-
stuff's really good.
This stuff is really good. It's basically a carb drink, but it's so much more than that. It's got all the sodium that you need. It's perfectly formulated and hydrated for you.
And
to
it
fuel.
mixes so that I know that we could just read the blurb off the box and
Yeah.
tell them how it's perfectly formulated. You know how many of those products, though, you get the 80-gram sachets or whatever, you put in the bottle,
Yeah.
and there's 20 grams left at the bottom.
Yeah,
to
of
sludge
course.
around.
Yeah.
It dilutes really well, which I quite like, because that really annoys me. And
Yeah.
especially when you've paid as much as you can for these products, and you feel like you're emptying out half the thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does that really well. Anyway, just try and give some actual feedback.
Thanks,
No
Mark.
problem.
That's great.
Okay.
You were in Torremolinos.
I went to the grand final.
Yeah.
It was an amazing venue for a grand final. So there were 5,500 athletes total that raced. And what's I think interesting about that obviously is you've got the full age group world championships for all of the sprint distance and Olympic distance racing going on in tandem with the World Series. Final thing that I learned on that before I get into the racing was there's actually a ton of competition and bidding going on for venues that want to host the grand final because the grand final is such a moneymaker, right?
Because of all the age groups.
Because of all the age groupers,
Yeah,
right? And so they've got
That
no
makes
problem filling the grand final every year.
Yeah.
It's the rest of the series that they struggle with, right? So in the women's race, that was the first race on Saturday. You had a race effectively between Cassandra Beaugrand and Beth Potter.
And Cassandra Beaugrand got off to the worst possible start.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that before in my
Have you
life.
ever seen such a tangent? If you haven't watched this, even if you're not a short course fan, just go find the start because I do not know what was going on.
You'll find it clipped on social media. So what happened is that it was an ocean swim. Everybody lined up right to left. So Cassandra had first draw on the beach. She lined up on the far right. Everybody just went to her left down the row. There's 50 athletes to her left. The ocean swim out to the first can. They mark the corners. They've got 1, 2, 3 cans going, and you have to take a right, keep the cans on your right, and then come back into shore and do another lap. The winds out on the ocean were insane. So you had white caps and ocean chop, and what I had been told, and from experience, was this was chop that they've never swam in, a level that they've never swam in before in the World Series.
Okay.
Cassandra, everyone runs in the water, and then what do you do when you start swimming? You're sighting.
And she's just citing the wrong one.
She's sighting the wrong can. But now remember, if you're Cassandra Beaugrand,
Everyone's opposite.
she's off to the left, but she leads so many swims, so she's not used to ever being really challenged, right?
Yeah.
So it's not
Well, it's not unusual to her. That she
it's
can't
not
do
unusual to
anything.
her that she's got nobody on her. Like she's like, I'm not seeing anybody. I'm going to be first in this can, whatever. But all of a sudden, we realize that she's veering off course, and the camera pans down. There's nobody else in the shot except for her, and she's effectively going to the third can first.
Yeah.
She gets waved back by a jet ski to go back. So she hits the first can in dead last. She comes around after lap 1 and exits the water in 34th place. Does another lap of the swim, comes out in the front group of roughly 16 women.
Yeah, she was
It's
13th. She was 13th to be exact. Out of the whole.
And then the front group chopped down to 12. The bike course was 8 laps with a 5K loop. It was effectively flat. There was one little 30-second punchy hill.
How many speed bumps were there?
There were, I want to say 4 or 6, but they were speed
Per lap.
But they were speed tables. And honestly, I was worried about them when I heard about them. But I think I did 6 or 7 laps with Gwen
Yeah.
on the course.
Yeah. Not bad.
Speed tables were fine. It wasn't a big deal at all. So
Did it affect the race?
no.
And then it just came down to that front group.
Yeah, the front group stayed away. So you had an incredibly technical bike course, but I thought it was the right amount of technical. It wasn't like, again, on paper or on a Strava file, that bike course looked absurd. But actually riding it, I thought it had a really nice rhythm to it. The coaches committee made, I don't want to say like a complaint, but they made a complaint to World Triathlon before the race that they got rid of the entrance and exit through transition every single lap. So that cut out, I would say, like some redundancy for how technical it was. And you just got to do this big, long, straight shot through the start finish. That went really well. So yeah, those 12 women stayed away. You had a chase group of roughly, 16 or 20. And you had your first, second, and third across the line. We're also first, second, and third in the series. So you had Cassandra Beaugrand in first, Beth Potter out sprinted Emma Lombardi for second, and then Emma Lombardi was third. So the big upsets were Lisa Church, who was, I believe, third going into the race. She was in the chase pack.
Yep.
She ended up seventh on the day, and so she fell to fourth in the series. That was kind of a big surprise. And then, the other favorites that were missing from that front group would have been Georgia Taylor Brown, Kate Woff. They did not make that front group either. So
I thought the performance of the day for me made the front group. Vicky Holland.
Well, Vicky Holland, yeah. And then
Vicky Holland going out last race, like having been away, had a child, come back, finally got a decent result winning the Europeans, made the front group. When does Vicky Holland make that? She was barely making that front group in her peak.
And it's not that she made the front group. I think she came out of the water third.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, fantastic race for her.
What a way to go out.
Yep, fourth place on the day. Ended up quite high in the series as well. So, no, super great result for her. On the men's side, we also had some craziness going on in the race too, where you had Alex Yee, Hayden Wild in the series. Who was in third?
It was Leo Berger.
Okay. Alex Yee, I would say, points-wise, was much more secure in his pursuit here. He basically had it on lock. But you had a front group form. Hayden Wild effectively broke away with four others on the bike, and they stayed away and had, was it almost 2 minutes they came off the bike with?
Yeah, it was a minute and 45.
Great to see a break stick.
Yeah.
So boring.
7 guys.
So long we haven't seen a break stick.
And the difference here is this wasn't a breakaway from the swim, because Hayden Wild came out of the water in like 27th or 28th.
He rode through this and then hit it.
And then punched out, right? And I think that's the difference here, which I thought was really cool. And that course, again, rewards 5 guys working together really well versus like the chase. It just wouldn't have, they would have had to been so focused to bring that back.
I mean, how many times has Hayden Wild beat Alex Yee in Olympic?
I think twice.
Yeah, very rarely. So great for him on the grand final. And he deserved it. Like, he made that break as well. The aggression was super impressive.
3 times. 3 max.
Alex Yee ran himself up to third.
Yeah.
Leo Berger from the break as well took second. Leo Berger always going to make a break. He's so strong on the bike, so smart in the way he rides. And Alex just ran through the rest of that break. Ran for a minute 45.
And Leo Berger's going to be racing 70.3 Worlds with Hayden Wild. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Those guys are going to bring another.
those two plus the 2 Belgian, like.
I really think those two are going to run so fast at 70.3 Worlds.
I don't know that. That's going to be crazy.
Go on. That was an early hot take. Who are you not? Who's going to be rubbish, Carl? You were about to say that.
Okay. This
You're
is going to be. This is some inside information. So, we're gambling in Las Vegas after the race, and I'm just sitting here talking to my buddy Martin Van Riel, and I'm like, "What's your goals for the rest of the season?" And he said, "Well, I want to win the T100 series in Dubai, and then the week after, I'm going to be trying my hand at Ironman Cozumel to qualify for Nice World Champion. And then, once you do 2 races back to back like that, I don't foresee him doing 70.3 Worlds.
I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to call the season there.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a bad thing. He's unbeaten at 70.3.
Yeah.
And this is the race you're going to get beat if anywhere.
Yeah.
This is going to be
It's going to be stacked.
Yeah.
Most stacked 70.3 Worlds we've seen in
People
Since South Africa, maybe.
Yeah, but that's because there's 3 of them, and they're the 3 big names.
Yeah.
There's more depth here.
Yeah.
They're just not as well known here.
Yeah, what's wild to me too about when we talk about this 70.3 Worlds, we'd said last year that this was going to be a insane 70.3 Worlds, and then as the year kind of dragged on, I was like, there's going to be a lot of people dropping out. This is in December.
And then Rico Boga wins it. No one's ever heard of it.
And then, and now as we're getting closer and closer to it again, it seems that more and more people are putting their hand up. Like we are going to get the race that we thought we were going to get.
The women's, you got to get it because you're going to get Nib. Julie Durano, I assume, will go do it. Like it's going to be another big race. But any big surprises from short course world triathlon champs this year? I mean, I think that the winners are the winner. I mean, Cassandra Beaugrand, Olympic champion, wins. Olympic champion Alex Yee wins. Hayden Wild takes 3rd in the series. Was he second?
Yeah, Leo was second. Yeah.
Both the Olympic podiums. And the women's, you had almost the Olympic podium minus Julie Durano.
Yep. I think then the other big takeaway would be that the World Series calendar was announced for 2025. And
Partially.
well,
There seems to be one more.
Let's wait for it to finish. We'll do a preview shot.
Okay.
There's one more location TBD. I pray that it's in America.
Okay.
Like I pray that it's in
Can I
America.
do a hot? Can this morph
Oh,
into
here
a
we
hot
go.
take?
Yeah.
then?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sam, I thought, let the cat out of the bag a little bit. That he was working really hard to have Renouf.
Okay.
In your interview.
Yeah.
He kind of let it slip that they're getting much closer on making a super weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, I think the super weekend is going to happen in Singapore. There's a gap in the calendar because you've got a race in February and then the next one's in May. You've got a multi-sport festival happening in Singapore effectively anyway with all of the other things that are going on. Why not throw a World Series there?
So I'm pretty confident, right, that they're going to make San Francisco compulsory for T100 contract athletes.
Sure.
I think they will. First athlete, I don't know if you said it on yours, but it's the first one. I think that'll be a no-brainer for them.
Yeah, I thought they'd do London too.
Oh, maybe, yeah. But I think they'll definitely make the first one compulsory. So then that means that every athlete that is one of theirs is not going to. I don't think you'll get to see many doubling.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many conflicts already.
Yeah. I guess my point would be, it seems like Singapore is also one of the venues that the T100 probably makes money from, and they want to have events there. Where like with T1, like if they,
the city pays enough to have it.
You can't do the super weekend out of San Francisco because it's just too complicated to close down San Francisco for 4 triathlon races.
Yeah.
Singapore will make it happen.
I think that's a good hot take, and I think you're probably spot on the money. I'm going to take I've got a wet bowl globe temperature meter with me. I'm taking one. I'm honestly taking it. I'm just not having I'm not having the game. I'm taking a thermometer for the water, and it has to be done 2 hours before the race at the finish line. Wet bowl. I'm going to be there with the camera.
Yeah.
Any nonsense. Just going to go nuclear on social.
Yeah,
We just have people seasons have been ruined.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. That was such an issue in Singapore.
I mean, Yuri almost died in the race.
I mean, you had Indy Lee drop out. You had Simmons dying of death. You had all sorts.
Yeah. Sadara dropped out.
That's the problem with Singapore. That is the one downside with it, and they have to find a way. They either have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did. The water definitely cooled down dramatically. That sort of stuff. Or they have to do something, the time of day, something. Because it's dangerous. And they showed it this year. You can't do it.
They can't play games with it.
Yeah. It's people's health.
Yeah.
So,
And the news organizations, they need to be posting about it. They need to be exposing it.
It shouldn't just be us getting chopped. But we need the actual data, right?
Right.
So that reading should be public.
Yeah. And you already have one, so I don't have to buy one for you, right?
No, I've got one.
Okay. Yeah.
You got lost when I left the army.
All right, you guys want to talk a little bit about the island? Obviously, we're going to go big episodes. Where are we sitting right now? 47 minutes. So
me and Pat are pretty tired, right?
We're ready to eat. We're going to be going
the island. So
yeah,
what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to do a who's hot, who's not. Talk about a bit of the kit. Talk about a bit of the tech that we've seen on the island.
Yeah.
We're going to start to talk through a bit of the race. Hopefully, get another guest on tomorrow.
Yep.
Then we're likely to do a live show on Thursday, we think.
Yep.
So we'll build towards Kona from tomorrow mostly.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts are all of us are praying for some wind.
Yeah, it's got to be crazy.
I just want a windy race.
We
again.
just really need a windy one. Yeah, I
It just
agree.
makes it because as we were driving, we've driven to the airport twice today. Well, Carl has picked us up. Otherwise, it's a really boring bike course.
It's a highway. Like it's really just a highway.
Yeah.
The problem is the magic that happens on race day is what everyone lives for in the hype. But the problem, like, it's just a highway.
I do want to speak about a little bit of what I think, I'm looking for a solution here this week of understanding, Mark and I were lucky enough that we will have gotten to be in Nice.
Yeah.
And we're going to be in Kona this week. I'm trying to figure out where the future of this race is. And the story I'll tell is I was on today. I sat next to a gentleman who's 56 years old. He got into the legacy program, and I said, could you have used this opportunity at Nice last year? And he goes, there's no way I'm going to Nice. He goes, I can race in Nice every June or July, whatever the race is. He goes, it's all about coming to Kona. And I think that's what we're going to feel here. And that's what, ultimately the Ironman CEO, Scott Giroux, who's new at the job, has got to figure out of where does this race fit in the future of Ironman, not only for the distance, but for the business. And I think that's the big thing that I'm hopefully, we're going to leave this trip with and go, absolutely, this race has to be here. I got to the island today, and when I landed, I thought to myself, damn it, I hate to say it, but this race needs to be here.
Yeah, I do agree. Like I do. I agree because I agree from the financial stance. I don't think it's a better world champs course than lots of other places you can have.
Yeah.
It's not people are like, whenever people say, oh, what's the hardest Ironman? Yeah, but it's not harder than Kona. Loads of Ironman are harder than Kona.
Yeah.
They just are. It's not even because it's the hardest. It's hard. It's horrible. It's just iconic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's magic. So if you're here, just remember, we are all guests here. We all want to come back here. We all want to make sure that the Hawaiian locals are okay with us being here.
There's no need to run.
Yeah.
On the run course through the middle of town, on the road.
Yeah.
It's just a road, right?
Yeah.
So
and no need to go on the bike course. There's maps all over the place of where you should ride and where you shouldn't ride. So just make sure.
Yeah, like you can do a bit of up and down the highway, but it's just a highway. Like, don't run down the middle of the road and rush hour traffic because you're practicing the last 3K of the run course. Mate, I saw
you're going to be walking.
I saw you. I was just going to say that. I saw you, mate. You're walking that. I promise. I guarantee you're walking that. I saw you running today. There's just no need.
Yeah. So that's just the one thing that kind of needs to be driven home is we are still guests here. So just making
that's a big reason why the field's capped so much and everything like that.
Yeah.
The locals can only tolerate
so
much.
Yeah. We want to get 2 people back here, men and women. We want to get 2 days of racing. We want to get potentially as much as we can, but to do that, we have to have good.
Yeah,
these people are telling us we need to quit with our podcast. So
we're off to dinner now. We're going to be loud and rowdy.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Tip 2% and.